barbecues around the globe. Today we're going to be taking a $6 steak and sensationalizing it. It's going to be good. Okay, first up, let's talk about the steak. This is a standard New York strip, nothing special at all, right? Even not particularly good grade, it's just choice. However, it can be absolutely fine, so I'm going to use some techniques here to make this a terrific steak. First thing to note, it's obviously quite thick, about nearly 1.5 inches there, so it's going to need to go through a reverse sear to get the centre to the right temperature. We're aiming for like a 135 serving temperature, and it's going to have to go over hot coals to get that beautiful Maillard reaction. Something you'd notice is, even though these were quite heavily trimmed, I've taken the fat in, so it's just about 1/4 inch around the outside of each chop, taking off any of the, each steak, taking off any of the sort of straggly bits of meat. I've just had a little bit of olive oil on them and salt for the last maybe hour or so, and we should be good to go. Let's set up the fire. Setting up the fire for reverse sear. I've got a well lit, about half a chimney of coals going right now. I've got the griller cube ready. Again, I'm using this beautiful aspect that we can almost split the Weber in half with it, so we've got a terrific amount of space for all 4 steaks. I'm now going to put some foil down on the indirect side to force the airflow up through the lit coals. I'm also going to add some unlit coals, so I've got a nice even spread of coals. Okay, what you can see now is set up with the griller cube in the middle, all of the lit coals down, added some unlit coals, because those are going to start cranking up while we do the indirect portion of the cook. I've added some silver foil, again to force the draw through the lit coals. Just going to put the grate on. That easy. We're putting these on the indirect side. Yeah, we're good, we're good. That was about 108, so I'm going to take that one. Alright, what you can see on this side of the fire now is that all of those unlit coals that I had are now starting to glow white hot, so this is getting extremely hot. I'm just going to give it a few more seconds to really crank up with the lid off, and then off we go. You can already hear the sizzling as soon as they go down. Put them down, leave them on 35 to 40 seconds. Then flip. You already see how quickly they brown up, how good they look. Turn them again. One of the great things about the griller cube, when this fire is really raging, if you do need to rest the meat for a bit, you've got plenty of room to move it to. However, I want some of that hot flame. You can see the fat sizzling off the surface of the meat, just looking terrific. Sizzling away, one last thing I'm going to do. Give them one dousing of olive oil with some aromatics in it, and I'll explain about those in one moment. Get this down, flip. Woo! It's getting hot. That took the skin off. Okay. One last flip, these guys are done. Steaks your mates are going to be proud of. I just want to talk for a few seconds about what I did right at the end, which was basically baste them in a mixture of olive oil and some aromatics. In this case I used garlic and some freshly grated horseradish. Now, had I been doing them in the pan, I would have probably sprinkled them on top of the pan, on top of the meat while it's in the pan. Had it also been in the pan, I might also be able to rub them with fresh rosemary. But all of these ideas are Jamie Oliver's, and the guy's a genius. He probably should have been knighted for what he did for school dinners in the UK. Anyway, terrific tips, because just putting that last basting on the end there, on the steaks as they were cooking, gives you those flavors, but not in every bite. They just like pop up every couple of bites. You think, oh, that's pretty good. Oh, that's pretty good. And it's the difference between just having a steak that you go, yeah, that's nice, to one that you go, okay, that's something special. And it's just a terrific tip. Now, in the pan, yes, you can rub those steaks with rosemary, and you can rub them with the garlic, and you can douse them with a little bit of oil, because you won't burn your fingers off. When you try and do them on the grill, I find it much better just to grate them with the olive oil and do a couple of quick bastes. Now, why didn't I put them all on right at the start when I first started searing? Essentially because the fire is so hot that they would have just been incinerated, and what you'd have actually tasted is carbon as opposed to what you actually wanted to taste. Now, you know, we like carbon sometimes, but not in that particular case. The second thing I want to talk about was the heat of the fire and why we do the reverse sear on the thick steaks. With the thick steaks, the issue is that if you put them on a hot fire too early, then the outside gets burnt before the interior gets the right temperature. So, and which is exactly the opposite problem with fajitas. With fajitas, you need a searingly hot fire, or thin steaks, you need a searingly hot fire, because it's a race about getting the crust that you want before the interior gets too cooked through. So with thin steaks, you want a searingly hot fire and just go straight at it and cook them off. With a thick steak, warm them up so the interior is already at a close to serving temperature, then take them off, and you haven't got that same race. So that reverse sear for thick steaks, direct cooking for thin. Simple as that. Okay, so 5 minutes rest, 10 minutes rest tops. Doesn't take a lot of resting. However, you just want it to give a little. But more importantly, the reason that I'm resting is to get these gorgeous juices, and I'll show you why in a second. But let's have a quick check of the steak. Alright, I'm just going to cut through here. Alright, and when we open it up, there we go. Beautiful blushing interior, crisp outside. Excuse fingers, but this is just too good. Other thing I wanted to show you is, remember I said I trimmed that meat down to the fat down to 1/4 inch? It's now fully rendered, okay? So it's now, oh, this is good. Again, blushing exterior. Just that little bit of fat is there for a gorgeous flavour, and it won't be like nobody goes to a steakhouse to eat big lumps of fat. We go because we love the taste of a small amount of fat, not mountains of the stuff. Trimming it down means it renders out, it's delicious. Alright. Put that guy there. You can see it just looks lovely. Put that guy there. So, whole load of mates coming over. They all want some of this. Okay, finally, what do you do with these juices? Do not throw them away. This is why I rested it, to capture these. Not really because I think resting works, but because I wanted these. Now, again, Jamie Oliver. Just a few drops. 6, 8. Give that a good shake. Pour it all over the top. Just like with the garlic and the horseradish, those few drops of lemon, you won't taste them in every bite, but just occasionally they're going to hit the palate and you're going to say, ah, that's something special. But there you go. A relatively cheap steak, New York strip, just beautifully prepared. Can't argue with that. Okay, just about serving time. You see it's got a little bit dark. Spot on for dinner. I'm about to run these in for my mates. Pitmaster privilege. And you all know about that, don't you? something special. As I say, the lemon's not there necessarily in every drop. The horseradish is not there in every time you bite. However, it's there. The meat is delicious, but the real thing is that fat. It's not thick and heavy. It's rendered out. It's light, and it's just sort of, you got the crispiness of it, and then just underneath that you've got the softness, and it's just something special. Give it a go. Cheers. I'm gonna get to them eventually, I promise. They're gonna get some. I never liked them that much anyway.